Getting rich is easy, but getting wealthy, yeah, that's difficult. Not only do you need a decent income to get rich, but to get wealthy, you need to be smart, patient, consistent, and disciplined. However, if you're here and wondering how to invest $1,000, then you're in the right place and you're taking the right steps. Hello and welcome back to Tides of Wealth, where you're just one sale away from financial success. Now, where you're going to invest these $1,000 depends on one thing: whether the $1,000 that you have right now is all that you have to invest, or whether you can put in $1,000 every month. Let's start with just having $1,000 to invest. This means you'll put the money somewhere and just let it grow. That's it. You won't be adding any more money to it. Now, you could go to the stock market, but since it's a one-time payment, you might even consider something riskier. Since you've already saved up $1,000, that puts you ahead of a lot of folks. But there's a problem too. Placing this money in the stock market isn't exactly the best idea. Let me give you an example. Let's say you invest $1,000 and that year the stock market grows by 25%. This would be amazing if you had $100,000 or more, right? But you just have $1,000, so that gives you $250, which doesn't really change your life. Now, you might consider a savings account. I mean, it gives you a consistent return, right? It might not be a lot, but hey, it's better than losing the money that you have. However, there's a problem. A savings account gives you just 0.33% in 2023. That means that 5 years later, you'll have $1,106. Is it an increase? Yes it is. However, that's not how you get wealthy. Now, all this talk is probably depressing you a little bit. I mean, you work so hard for the money, you work so hard to save it, and now you're wondering if investing it is even worth it in the first place. Isn't it better to just get a PS5 or get that phone upgrade you've been after? No. Look, Warren Buffett says that most people spend their lives not realising their true potential, and he's right. So, one of the best investments you can make is in yourself. Now, at the start of this video, I said an income will make you rich, but it won't make you wealthy. However, an income is still something you need to get wealthy. You can't just invest pennies and then expect to get massive returns. I mean, I already showed you all the maths, and even $1,000 doesn't take you that far. So before anything, invest in yourself and educate yourself. Here's what Warren Buffett says about the entire thing. The best thing you can do is be exponentially good at something. Whatever abilities you have can't be taken away from you. They can't actually be inflated away from you. So the best investment by far is anything that develops yourself, and it's not taxed at all. The problem is, Buffett says that many people end up focusing on skills and talent, where they're not extremely talented. For example, coding is all the rage right now. But if you just can't learn it, you don't have the aptitude, then it's better to stop wasting your time and focus on something you're passionate about and something that you can do. The investor has also warned that someone must know what goals are worthy to pursue, instead of just joining the rat race. Because when somebody does that, there's a chance of them falling for a get-rich-quick scheme. He says that you must figure out what makes you good and what you can naturally and easily bring to the table. He says that he could have spent 10,000 hours trying to be a boxer, but even then, he wouldn't be too good at it. So instead, it's better to go into what you're good at doing, what you like, and what's useful to society. In fact, it's because of this belief, he says, one must also steer clear of cryptocurrency. Here's what he says about that. Whether it goes up or down in the next year or 5 or 10 years, I don't know, but the one thing I'm pretty sure of is that it doesn't produce anything. It's got a magic to it, and people have attached magic to a lot of things. So instead of getting really into get-rich-quick schemes like crypto or anything, develop your skills and make yourself valuable to your business or the company that you work for. You can invest in yourself through books, webinars, seminars, or courses. When you continuously learn, you'll have a lot of knowledge, and it will make you less likely to be laid off in times of economic downturn. I mean, if you can learn how to code, go for it. If you can't, you could go for something like marketing. That's also extremely sought after. Basically, the point is to get skills that can put you on the map, and skills that not very many people have. Now that you know that spending $1,000 on improving yourself is a good idea, we can talk about what other things you can do with that money. For example, you can work on creating another income source. Look, it's extremely easy to have another source of income in this generation thanks to the internet. The difficult part That's lifting it off the ground. By the way, if you're enjoying everything in this video so far, would really appreciate it if you could just like and hit the subscribe button. If you invest in your knowledge, then you can take action to make something with it, and then you can take your earnings to invest in your business and grow it even further. Then, you could even put in more cash and scale the business as much as you'd like. Oh, and once you feel that your business has reached its full potential, you can always just use the massive earnings to invest in other assets, such as the stock market, real estate, etc. This way, instead of having just $1,000 to invest, you'll have $1,000 to invest every month. That's when you create a passive source of income. Before, you do the work and get the money. With passive income, you make the money work for you too. On this, Warren Buffett says that if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, then you'll work till the day you die. And I mean, come on, who the heck wants to work for the rest of their lives? So, the most common way to get a passive source of income is the stock market. But instead of investing in regular stocks, Buffett believes that we should be investing through index funds. An index fund is a type of mutual fund with a portfolio that tracks the components of a financial market index. I know that sounds a little confusing, so let me give you an example of an index fund to clarify this for you. The S&P 500. That's an index fund. Now, the reason why an index fund is a good investment is because it gives broad market exposure, it has low operating expenses, and it has a low portfolio turnover. If you're looking to safely retire, then index funds are the ideal portfolio holdings. Warren Buffett himself has said that index funds are a haven for saving for the later years of life. He believes that instead of picking out individual stocks, it just makes more sense for the average investor to buy all companies at the low cost the index fund offers. Advocates of index funds say that these are successful in outperforming the most actively managed mutual funds. And it is true, since a majority of funds fail to beat their benchmark. For example, during a 5-year timeline that ended on December 21st, 2022, 87% of large-cap US funds generated a return that was less than that of the S&P 500. So, in this case, passive management has led to positive performance trends over the long term. And look, passive funds do better over the short term. It's just that they don't do well over the long term. If you don't have the time or skills to invest and pick companies, then it's better to invest in a bunch of them. It's safer that way and it's less tedious. With index funds, you create a basket of companies to invest in. That lets you focus on your own work instead of looking for the next big thing. You can even track stocks that pay dividends. Thus, you can reinvest the money that you get. Another way you can use your $1,000 is through real estate. Now look, $1,000 isn't enough to buy a house to rent to someone. But thanks to the internet, there are lots of options out there for you. For example, you can go to the internet to crowdfund your investment. Basically, you put in your $1,000 with other investors to fund your real estate. If you're a crowdfunder, then you need to develop a pitch that's going to entice the investors. Real estate crowdfunding is similar to equity crowdfunding. Basically, instead of owning the entire damn thing, the investor owns a share in the property, just as the stock market lets you own a share in the company. Just how an investor in a company would get their dividends, that is, their share of the profits. An investor in a crowdfunded property would get their portion of income from the rent. Now, whether you go on that platform as a crowdfunder or as an investor is totally up to you. But the point is, if the property makes money, so do you. If the value goes up, then the value of your investment goes up as well. This sounds perfect, right? Well, there's a slight problem. You need to remember that this isn't exactly liquid cash. Once you've invested, it will be difficult to divest. Before anything though, remember to study the market extremely carefully, assess your own financial situation, see if you can handle the risk, and talk to an experienced professional. Well folks, with that said, let us know in the comments what you would do if you had just $1,000 to invest. See you next time.